Hello, hello. What is up, people?
What's up? How the heck
How you-
are we?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. It feels good to be back on the streams.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's
Nice
been
to have you back.
I've been on my hiatus. I've been focusing on the trading, but it feels good to be back, you know?
Nice, man.
Yeah.
We were talking in the pre-stream. You're just
Yeah.
trading gold and silver now.
That's it. Because the thing is, I tried trading NQ for a long time, right? When I first got it, because I used to never trade the NQ prior to getting into futures, right? So I started off in the forex space. I was trading the currencies. I was mostly trading the yen, the US dollar, and the yen.
Mhm.
And then I started back testing with gold, and I just recently started to add silver into my trading. I only trade the micros on silver, but
Yeah.
my data showed that, some of my best trades are on the metals. So, I tried with NQ for a while and I struggled, man. There was just so much manipulation for me. Like setups that I would normally take on gold and silver that would play out beautifully, I would just get wicked out on NQ or even the YM or ES. They were just evil to me. I could never really get it right. So I was like, don't fix what's not broken, Ty, Because you know what it is that everyone, when you get into the prop space, so many people are trading NQ and you're like, all right, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of trading the NQ, right? And then the next big thing was silver, right? And everyone was like, oh, let me trade silver because the leverages is so astronomical, and everyone started blowing their accounts or just hitting huge on silver gambling. And it's just like, you get into this frame of mind, especially with social media, is that it clouds kind of your judgment of your data. And the only thing that really matters at the end of the day is what you back tested and what you have the statistics on. And my statistics on trading NQ or even ES or YM, it was just, it was poor. I would get the manipulation wicks, especially at 9:30. I would just be like, and prior to the actual move in the market, It would just be so it would just be so ridiculous, and I would get so frustrated, right? Because I know the direction of the market, but it would just go and run stops prior to me, seeing the actual move for the day. I was like, I can't trade this asset anymore. I can't. So now I put my entire focus on trading gold, and mostly just when I'm trading gold, I'm trading the micros, and when I'm trading silver, I'm trading the micros. But mostly the majority of my trading is mostly just trading micro gold.
Yeah,
And
the thing with micro gold is one micro has a lot of leverage.
Yeah, even like for my conviction to trade micro silver, the trade has to be really, really good, and I have to have a tight stop, right? Because even one micro on silver it's huge, man. It's big, and not a lot of the firms allow you to trade micro silver anyway. So majority of my trading is just based on micro gold. That's it. And like I said, you can make a ton of money just trading one asset. You don't need to go in and pull yourself into different avenues, because oftentimes you think, right? You're like, okay, if I have more assets on my watch list, I have more opportunity. But then in the grand scheme of things, you're actually missing the opportunities that are right in front of you on the asset that you want, and you end up clouding yourself and clouding your judgment and just having too much on your plate. And so you really only need one. There's plenty of opportunity and plenty of money to be made with just using one asset. I actually just made a video on this today for my Instagram, that you only need one asset. You need one kill zone, whether you like New York, Asia, or London, and you need to take one trade a day. I only trade Asia session. I trade gold or silver, and I take one trade, and I only trade the high time frames. That's it.
How good are you at sticking to that one trade a day rule? I
am good at it now. You know why? Because I struggled for 6 years of not adhering to that. You know what I mean? So your patience is a byproduct of you failing for years, right? I've made all the mistakes, and I tell everyone this is everyone's on their own timeline, and you unfortunately need to touch the hot stove to know to not do some bad shit, right? Me telling you not to touch it is oftentimes not going to be enough. You need to go and physically do it yourself to know and make the adequate changes because I made every wrong mistake. I strategy hopped. I traded the wrong assets. I traded the wrong times. I over traded. I over leveraged. So after years and years of doing that, and then journaling and understanding, okay, Ty, this is what you do right. If you go outside of this, you aren't going to make money. The market's going to take it away from you. So I now know it's like, I do what I do best, and I don't go outside of that. I don't listen to other people. I don't try and trade things that I'm not good at. I do what works best for me. This is an individual market. Are there people that are great at trading the NQ during New York, during the open? Yes. Am I good at it? Fuck no. So I don't trade it. You know what I mean? I do what works for me. That I don't say that I have the holy grail model. I just know what I do best and what stimulates me emotionally and what doesn't, and where I could be a professional, and me trading a little bit slower moving market in Asia, which really isn't the slowest for gold, but the price action is cleaner for me. I see less manipulation in those times, and it works better for me in my psychology. So that's what I do. You know, I keep things relatively simple now. I find that when I was trading a bunch of assets, it was hindering me mentally, and I felt like I had too much on my plate. Like, even if I just had a bunch of tickers like on my watch list, right? The fact that I had so many and I had the availability to go look at them, it was limiting me mentally. I'm telling you, it was taking away from my mental capital. And knowing that I just have 1 to 2 tickers on there that I'm looking at, it keeps me fresh, right? I'm strong. I'm smart. I'm dialed in between the ears, and that's the most important thing, because you only have a certain amount of mental capital that you have for the day. And for myself, I felt mentally exhausted when I had too many, and I was looking and flipping between whether I was trading them or not. It was still taking away from my mindset. I know it sounds stupid, but these are all things that I journal in myself, and I see, that are weaknesses in me, and I try to limit that as much as possible. And so I go back on my journal, and I'm like, okay, Ty, you don't like when you have, NQES, YM, gold, the Dow, like the Russell, everything. It's like, I don't need to look at all the shit. I just need gold, I need silver, and I don't need nothing else. That's it. And I feel sharper that way. So that's what I do. And it was only until I made the mistakes until I really knew that, right? So
Absolutely.
it's just things that I find in myself, and it's not necessarily for everybody, right? People can trade multiple assets and look at multiple tickers. I gotta go by what works best for me and what led me to my profitability, and that was literally the quote. I know it's so completely played out, but less is truly more for me. And when I started to do that, a lot of things shifted in my trading, and my results and my profitability started to skyrocket. So I just I keep it very, very simple now. That's the best way to describe it. I keep it simple.
I think a lot of people need to hear that. Maybe not a lot of people are trading multiple markets, but they may be trading way too many setups.
And you know what?
Many setups.
It's not only that, it's also, you know what else is a big thing for me is that I don't look at too many time frames. You know how say you like want to get a bias on a H4 and a daily, and then you may scale down to the 1 hour and the 15 minute and then look for a 5. Oftentimes when you're doing that, now those time frames can contradict entries.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I may be bullish on the 15, but on the 1 hour and the 4 hour I'm bearish. So it's like it's gonna mess with your mind, right? So now I just stick with 1 or 2 time frames. I usually am just going I'm just going off the higher time frame. I do not go below the hourly.
Okay.
Right? I trade the hourly and above. And you know, if you're trading the 1 hour and then you're scaling to the 15 and then you're taking the 5, and it's like those time frames could then contradict, and then it could mess up everything for your psychology, and then it could skew your judgment on your trades. And it says, I'm telling you, you don't need as many time frames as you believe. I always preach, and I will say this to the day I die, is that I'm a higher time frame trader. I'm an intraday swing trader. I feel like you get the true narrative off of the higher time frames. The statistics in the prop firm show that higher time frame traders are it's statistically proven that higher time frame traders are more profitable and they keep their accounts for longer. That's not to say that there aren't statistical anomalies out there. Right? There are great lower time frame traders. I have really good friends in this space that are insane scalpers, insane. But I'm just going off of the data off of prop firms that higher time frame traders do see more sustainability in their trading than lower time frame traders. This is just facts. These are the facts that are out there in the markets, right? But that's not to say that everybody is gonna be shit at trading the lower time frames. I just know from me and my and from my trading is that when I go below the hourly, there's a whole lot of manipulation. There's a whole lot of fake outs before you're seeing the real move. Even the 15 minute, right? You could still get a lot of wick fake outs on that time frame. And I think like anything like the 5 and below, it's like, for me, that's like demonic, dude. I can't even trade that shit. It's like the candles are moving too fast. It's overstimulating me emotionally. Every bad flaw comes out of me if I were to trade the lower time frames. It extracts everything out of me that is negative. Okay. So that's why I don't even have those time frames on my watch list. It's not even on there. Nothing below the hourly is even on my trading view.
Let's go to your
I have the 45 minute. Yeah. You can go to my screen and we'll kind of we'll kind of dive down into
first of all, Tyler, let's just go over your setup and explain it to anyone that may not know.
Yeah, so here on the right side is kind of just the daily time frame. I look at the daily, the weekly, and the 4 hour, kind of just get, okay, where's my narrative? Like what's price doing, right? So we could just go over a trade that I took here, right? Okay. So kind of what I'm looking for is when I get to Asian session or London, it will depend. Mostly I'm just trading Asia, but if I do see like an A+ setup in like London, I don't trade after won't even look at the markets after 5 o'clock in the morning. That's the latest I will actually ever look. But typically I like to get in my trades from 8 p.m. right before New York midnight. That's like where I really like my bread and butter is, right? So what I look for is essentially I want to see my higher time frame confirmation, right? So I go off my narrative of what the higher time frame is doing. So the daily here, we had this huge inversion, right? So I am trading some sort of ICT concepts. I am not super into the ICT world that most people are, okay? I trade inversions and I trade fair value gaps. That does the extent of my ICT goes, right? That's it. It doesn't go further than that. So I will look for like, okay, what is the daily doing? So the daily, we inverted this fair value gap here, which is a strong bearish sign, right? All these bullish PD arrays, right? Like this fair value gap here, this all got disrespected, right? So now on the daily, it's like, okay, my narrative is clear. It's like the bulls are no longer in control right now. So I want to be looking for shorts, right? So if I come down to the hourly, this was February 12th, right? So right here off the daily, I'm looking for shorts right now. Until I get a confirmation to go long again, I'm looking for shorts. So now I come down to the hourly, which is one of my favorite time frames. The hourly, the 45-minute, and the 2-hour is really where I take my trades, but mostly the hourly. Mostly the hourly. The 45-minute is probably the lowest I will ever go. But usually I'm solely focused on the hourly. I come down here. What do I see? Okay, I'm in London session. I'm trading the same thing, right? I like to look for these inversion plays. This is an indicator I created in my free Discord. It basically it goes off of what's called candle range theory. So essentially, it's a sweep. I get a sweep of a high on an hourly here. I leave behind a fair value gap. And what happens here? We are in London session. As you can see, this is 5 o'clock in the morning. I get this inversion play here. We then retest the inversion, right? This is a fair value gap that got disrespected. We then retest. My entry would be on the fair value gap. My stop would be at, this is a protected high now, right? This is a protected high. This high should not go get taken, right? This would be my stop. Now, how long am I holding the trade for? Usually, if I'm taking it on a CFD firm, I'll hold it for multiple days. Or if I'm trading on futures, I will have to exit the trade by 5 o'clock. So this trade here was a 13R position. I took this on, and I'll trade it relatively low risk, right? Depends on the prop that I'm trading. So maybe I'll risk like 250, 500 bucks on this trade and I'll just let it go, right? So this was a beautiful short that was taken here on silver. And this ran for like a little over a 1 to 10 R. And guys, if you know anything about me, I like to trade with firms that typically don't have a consistency rule, so I can let my winners run because I'm not trading as frequently as often as other traders, right? I'm more patient and I like to catch the bigger RR trades. So this is just one of the RR trades that I took. It's usually, this was like a 1 to 10. And if you want me to show you, like, here is a long position here, right? This is just another trade that I wanted to show you. So this was back in February 5th, right? So February 5th, we're here. Boom. The daily is still bearish, right? The daily's bearish. So although my confirmation is bearish here on the daily, right? What do I have here? I have this bearish fair value gap now, right? That gets picked up, which is over here. Let me show you. Okay. So at the time of this position, we're here, right? So I get into my trade, and what am I looking for? Here, I have my CRT that went off, right? Which is candle range theory, and we leave behind a fair value gap that gets inverted. When did it get inverted, though? This is the key. You guys got to know this, is that at the forefront of my trading, before even technical analysis, is time. So when an inversion happens, if it doesn't happen at a specific time, that is the most crucial thing for me. I'm not looking for inversions to happen like randomly throughout the trading day, right? So this is an indicator that I created. If you guys want to join my free Discord, this is totally free. It's an indicator that I developed with another member who helped create it for me. It's extremely powerful, and I utilize that in conjunction with my entries. So if you know anything, 8 p.m. is the opening for Asia session, which is huge for the metals, right? So what happens here at the opening of Asia session? I see this inversion fair value gap on the hourly, right? As soon as Asia opens, this is as crucial as it gets, right? This is like a home run trade for me. So I get this inversion. I then want to see, I'm not going to enter blindly off the inversion. I want to see us respect this gap. What happens on the next candle? We respect the gap, right? The inversion here with a wick. Now, where's my trade? Where's my entry? It's going to be a limit set on here. My stop will be at the body of this candle, or it could be at the fair value gap itself, right? It just depends on, this is where I do use a little bit of discretion in my trading. I try to keep my model as mechanical as possible, but here I use a little bit of discretion in where I keep my stops, like, right? Because if I wanted to go on the swing low, it's just too wide of a stop, right? The RR is not there for me. So here I would either put it at the body or I put it at the fair value gap here, the inversion. And I would just let this trade run until the end of the trading day. That's essentially what I do, right? So 15 would be here, or 16. I would let this trade run till the end of the trading day. And this was another over 10R trade. Like, I don't get these trades, okay, I can go a week a week and a half without a trade, and I'm totally cool with that. That's why I like to trade with firms that don't have consistency rules, is because I could just take my winning position on a and have a larger RR. And the consistency rules kind of hurt me as like a higher time frame trader, right? If you're a lower time frame trader and you're taking more entries, that's where the consistency rules are going to hurt you, right? So that's kind of just how I go about my trading. And it's just like, for me, I'm not trading as frequently, so my RR is a bit higher, my win rate is higher. But like I said, if you're catching a trade every day and thinking that you're going to get a position like this every single day, it's just not realistic, right? Because at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. If you're going to trade a higher RR system with a higher win rate, you are not going to get trades as frequently. If you're going to trade a lower RR with a higher win rate, right? Then you can get trades every day, because maybe you're only aiming for a 1-to-1. Maybe you're even a negative R trader. If you're going to take more trades more frequently and only have about a 50% win rate, right? You can get trades, but your win rate's not going to be as high. So there's always a sell-off with things, right? You don't get it all. You don't get a high win rate, a high RR, and then you get trades every day, right? So you kind of got to go off of what you value as a trader, right? Are you a person who's impatient and can't wait for trades, or are you not good on the higher time frames? Do you value the lower time frames and being able to trade more frequently, and you don't care about getting stopped out as much as long as you're involved in the market? You have to go and understand yourself as a trader, right? I like to win more often. It fucks with me mentally when I'm not winning as frequently. So I don't care if I have to sit out on some trades. If I'm winning more, it's easier for me and on my psyche as a trader, right? So that's what I value. I'd rather sit and wait, and I know I'm going to be in a higher RR position, and the trade is going to play out more frequently than my other trades. So that's what works best for me. But for other traders out there, the style of trading how I am is, they're like, yo, you haven't taken a trade in a week. I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't care. I don't care, because I know when I do get my trade, either I'll take a small loss, or the RR will be substantial, and I'll have the no consistency rule, and I'll put a large buffer in my account, and I'll just wait for the next setup to present itself. But like I said, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, which is totally fine. I'm not claiming that the style that I trade is going to be suitable for everybody, but you just got to be realistic with expectations in the market, right? Well, I know when I'm trading, I may not get a trade every single week, which is totally fine with me, because it's easier for me psychologically. I don't want to be involved in trades where, I only have a 40% win rate, right? But I'm being involved more frequently in the market. It's going to cause me to tilt. It's going to cause me to do bad things. It's going to cause me to go against my risk management. It's going to cause me to go against my system when I'm losing more. I just noticed that in myself as a trader. Even if I was trading 1-to-1 R and I had like a 75% win rate, the fact of the 1-to-1 RR, it's going to hinder me mentally, because I know that, like, okay, after I take a loss, now I need to make two wins in a row to get back to not only break even but net positive. So I just know I've tried everything under the sun, right? Like I've tried like 1-to-1 risk to reward. I tried lower time frames. I tried everything. That's what I'm saying, is that I've been doing this for 6 years, and I know for myself as a trader, I know where my strengths are. And trading that style for me is just not it. It caused a lot more damage to my accounts and to my psyche than it did when I was just trading less frequently and shooting for bigger RR trades and kind of being more of a position trader, right? If I could swing trade on futures prop firms, trust me, I would. But I can't, right? If I could, I would 100% hold my trades for multiple days and even risk less. And I would hold it for, 2, 3, 4 days, even a week. But unfortunately, it's just not the case for futures prop firms. But for when I trade CFD prop firms, which I still do, and even in my live accounts, right? When I have a live account with NinjaTrader, I solely swing trade on my live account, right? I keep enough in the account for the overnight margin, which isn't super substantial. Like when I'm swing trading, I'm only swing trading a couple micros, like maybe 2 micros at the max. And that's plenty for me. I just keep enough in the account that I could sustain the overnight margin. And it's great. I don't ever do anything else other than swing trade in my live account. So that's me at heart. I'm a swing trader at heart, and that's where my strengths are in the market. And I don't deviate from that because I've tried it and I failed miserably. And and I do what works best for me. That's at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, because this is such an individualized game.
Exactly.
And, you have to go off of your strengths,
Yeah.
not your mentors, not ICTs, not anybody's. Because just because I do something, it doesn't even mean we're going to see the market the same. That's the beauty of trading, right? I could be on a higher time frame, and some kid on a 5 minute, 15 minute could be on a short, right? That's the beauty of trading, is that everyone has their strengths and everyone has their weaknesses. My greatest weaknesses may be somebody else's greatest strengths. So that's what I tell everyone, is that do not ever copy a mentor word for word, or go and try and copy their strategy to the T. You have to go and back test, get your own data, forward test, get your emotions in check, and then build your own model, right? You could take snippets of somebody, right? Like I took some teachings from ICT. I took some indicators that I utilized from other traders, and I made it my own. And that is the most important thing. And I struggled with that for a long time, because I was always trying to find the holy grail, right? I was always trying to find, okay, what's the indicator with the best win rate? What model can I utilize where I have the best win rate? And it's just not out there, man. It doesn't exist. You're never going to find it, because it's not real. There is no holy grail out there. Newsflash for everybody. It does not exist. It's not real. There's no unicorn model out there where you're going to find and be like, this is it. You know what the edges and the real value is, and the edges in the market is you as a person. You as a trader, you're the edge, not the model. If you can adhere to your risk management, your rules, and your data, that is your edge. That is what's going to make you profitable. It's not the strategy, bro. It's you as a person, because
Absolutely.
You could trade trend lines and moon phases and whatever the fuck out there is. I don't ever tell somebody that they have a bad strategy. If you have adequate risk management, any strategy works. I'm telling you right now, anything. So don't let anybody tell you that your strategy is bullshit, right? If you have data on your edge and it's profitable on data, obviously you have to have statistical data on it. And if you adhere to that with your risk management, nobody can say shit to you. Nobody. They can't say anything, because you have your edge. You have the mathematics. You have the statistics behind it. You have the risk management. So don't ever listen to anybody out there to tell you that you have a bad model or unprofitable model. The only way you do have that is if your data shows you the model sucks. Right? The math is going to show you if the model sucks or not some random mentor who's just talking out of his ass and telling you, oh, this sucks because X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, they don't know the first thing about it. Right? So I don't ever knock anybody's strategy or style of trading, because if they got data behind that and that's profitable model for them, then I applaud you, bro. Stick to that. But the hardest part is going to be is that regardless if you have the data or not, if it's going to stimulate you in a negative way, like psychologically, and you can't see the model through for the RR or the statistics in it, right? Because this is the hardest thing for traders, right? They can have a profitable model, but if you can't take a loss, the model is meaningless, right? Because now you're tilted, your emotions have kicked in, your rational thought is out the window, and you're taking trades outside of your model. So now you can't even see it through, right? If you're like, okay, I'm supposed to make this amount of money through these amount of days on the month and throughout the year, but then you take one loss and every fucking thing goes out the window, your model's useless. So you have to pick a model that you could stick to and is sustainable for you psychologically as well, which is very, very crucial. And that is at the forefront of my trading. And what I put at the forefront of my Discord is that regardless of the model, you have to be able to adhere to it, win, lose, or draw, no matter what, right? No matter what somebody says. And that is the most important thing, because you have to be able to see it through, right? One loss doesn't define you as a trader. You can go through a period of drawdown where you take 3 losses. And then at the end of the day, the model is still going to be, you're still going to make 20, 30% on the year, but you can't let that loss define you, right? And then you go into the trade, and then now all of the hard work that you put in to gathering the data and the statistics and the edge in the market, it's completely irrelevant now, because now you took a trade that makes no fucking sense. You're just clicking buttons because you're upset, right? So that, once you conquer that is the biggest thing when it comes to trading, is that right there. Is that when you go and you start clicking the button and you can't even explain yourself, that's going to be the biggest downfall for traders. And it typically is, right? It's like, I have a beautiful model that I know. It's like, I went in today and I just don't even know what the hell I did. I just started clicking shit.
Yep.
Because you couldn't even control yourself. The emotions got over you. And I'm not saying this is way way easier said than done, right? It takes years to be able to conquer that and to be able to compartmentalize yourself emotionally and to become a professional. And it took me 6 years to get it right, right? Like I knew I knew I was doing the wrong shit, but I was still making the bad decisions of, taking trades outside of my system and just not even having an explanation, right? And this will go into, I just want you guys to know that I had funded accounts, right? I was running up these funded accounts and I had beautiful, beautiful risk management. And it took one bad day. Right? And I'm a human being. I make mistakes too. I'm not saying I'd never make mistakes, right? I have my edge. I know my model, and I got tilted, and it took one bad session to erase weeks of hard work on those accounts. Weeks, right? And it can happen in a flash. So that's why it's so critically important to have rules for yourself and consequences, right? And you're the only person that's going to hold yourself accountable. Nobody's going to come and save you, right? Nobody.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit if you nuke your account. The prop firms don't care. They want you to do that. So
we don't want you to do that, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Not at the futures desk, right? Because you're actually going into a real live account. But for these other prop firms, they don't care, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys specifically, but prop firms, a typical prop firm's business model, other than the futures desk that's bringing you to a live account, they don't want to see you, making payouts, right? They thrive off of losing traders. Mm-hmm. So this is just the nature of the business, and it's on you to help yourself not get to that point, right? Yep. And it's critically important. And I just think that everyone should put that at the forefront of their trading, for sure, without a doubt. Forget a strategy. If you can't adhere to a model without you getting upset and clicking buttons, it's meaningless, right?
Think about all the accounts that you've blown. How many times has it been because of a bad strategy?
Never.
Probably never.
It's always because I've done something really, really stupid. Yeah. Right? Like I got excited, and it's the worst part is that you don't learn anything from your winning trades. You really don't. You learn the most from when you do the wrong stuff, right? My whole life I've learned the hard way, and it was never from anything good. It was always from bad stuff happening to me, and it was the same thing through the markets. And if anything, when people get into trading and they're like, and they're in their first year, and they're like, oh, I got this so easy, right? It came so natural to me. It's like you haven't even scratched the surface yet, my brother, because this thing is going to humble you so far. And it's worse when you start off right and you get it right away. And then your confidence is here, and then you're going to go and over leverage. And guess what? It's going to strip everything away from you. And it's only a matter of time. And it's something that you have to go through. Unfortunately, it's part of it. It builds the scars inside of you. It makes you who you are as a trader. Everybody goes through this. Don't ever listen to anybody that tells you, oh, I know I became profitable so quick. I never went through any hardships. They're lying to you. Any real trader out there has gone through some of the worst. This is going to bring out some of the worst things that you've never even thought that you struggled with, right? Yeah. It's gonna bring out all your insecurities, all your everything that you do wrong mentally, and all your wrong decision making. The markets will strip it right outside of you, and it'll be reflected on those charts. And you got to understand that you're in this for the long haul. It's one of the greatest skills you'll ever have in your entire life, and just enjoy the process. And losing and burning accounts is part of that, right? So it comes with the territory. And as soon as you get that through your head that, these things are going to happen, and it's only going to be, and like I say, these things happen for you, not to you, right? So I wouldn't ever take back, like I lost a lot of money in the beginning of my trading. I burned a ton of accounts, but I wouldn't ever change anything because it's now gotten me to the point where I'm at now. And I needed to go through all that. Right. And I just think that everyone's forged on their own path. And I think that if you get into this, and it's one of the greatest skills you'll ever have in your life, and just don't ever quit. Don't get discouraged. I did for a long time. And I'm so glad that I never gave up, because there was at times where I really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And, the fact that I stuck it out, I made everything back in a month that I struggled with for 6 years. My biggest month ever, I made $168,000 in a single month. That took away 5-6 years of blowing accounts in 1 month. So just know, when it does click, everything happens very, very fast, and you will be rewarded for your patience. Just don't rush this. And I promise you, there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you are struggling and watching this, because I know that there's more people that are than that aren't, just keep going, stay steadfast, and don't ever give up, because prop firms specifically can change. They changed my life forever, right? Especially limiting the downside risk. it's just one of the biggest blessings that's ever happened to me, and I don't take it for granted. That's why whenever somebody asks me to come on here and speak, I love doing it, because I used to dream to be in and to do stuff like this, right? I was working in the elevator union. I hated myself, and to just be able to work for myself now and to be able to be with people like you and to be here, it's the biggest blessing that's ever happened to me in my life. So I never say no, and I will never say no. It's just like, this is my dream career and my dream job, and I wake up every single day and I'm blessed and happy to be here. And if I could help somebody in some way, that's why I keep my Discord free. Everything I do is for free. And if I could change the life of somebody else who's, you know, working their 9 to 5 and they hate themselves and they want to get out of it, listen, if I could do it, anybody can. So that's why I do this, and I try to help as many people as I possibly can, and I try to give real value, no like guru bullshit, right? Like real life value of things that I struggled with to maybe help somebody not or limit the amount of time that it takes for them to be profitable, right? If they can learn from me, that means the world to me. And I have people in the Discord that say that I've turned them profitable and helped them in ways that, you know. And we don't even really trade the same. That's the thing, right? It's like they come on my Discord and they learn through me, not only just technically, but emotionally. That's what at the forefront of my Discord is that it's emotional stability and psychology. That is so important, because I struggled with that for so long, because anyone could build a model and anyone can make money, but not everybody can keep it. Remember that.
Exactly. iStrong25 says, why are you calling me out today, man? I front ran New York Open with 5 minis and no stop.
I mean, yo, listen, my brother, trading minis right now with this volatility, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But listen, this is part of it. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm here to support you guys, and I just want you to understand that, you know, if you lose an account, it doesn't define you as a trader, right? Say you blew your account on trading ES today. What did you learn from this, right? What good came out of it? You are going to learn the most from blowing those accounts and taking the wrong trades and oversizing and over leveraging. But it is on you. You have to go and journal that. Okay, what did I do wrong today? Okay, I front ran New York Open, right? Typically I don't do that. Okay, I sized over the contracts than I normally do. Why did I do this? Why was I emotional in this trade? Are things going on outside of my life that are now, right? I came to the charts. I'm having problems at work. I'm having problems with the wife. I'm having problems with kids. All this stuff matters because the charts are going to reflect it, right? If you're having a bad day, regardless of what it is, the boss is yelling at you, the wife's nagging you, you got bills, you got this and that. You can't trade under those conditions. It's going to be reflected in your trading. So it's better you have to understand and journal all of that, because it's very, very important. It's crucial, because I've made those mistakes, right? I went to the markets when I was pissed off or I had a bad day, or guys, some kid tried to hack my accounts, right? When I was trading with Prop Firm, he tried to get into my accounts. He used a fake AI image of me. I got the accounts back, right? Nothing was happened, but I was still pissed off, right? I went and I traded the accounts. I took a loss and I decimated them in 2 days because I was pissed off at the kid for hacking into my accounts. And then he doxed my family and put my address on Twitter. And it was just a whole fucking mess. So you don't understand is that you have shit like third party stuff that's going to affect your trading, and affected mine. And I lost my accounts, right? You have to understand that all this stuff matters. So you need to come into the market with a fresh mind, and you need to be robotic. And you need to keep your model at least 85 to 90% mechanical, and then have a form of discretion, because discretion is necessary in trading. But you need to have a system that you come to every single day that you adhere to under no circumstances, no matter what, do you ever deviate from it. Doesn't matter who says it, ICT, anybody, nobody.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So
a lot of truth bombs you're spitting out there.
Yeah, because I feel like there's not enough people out there giving you the real shit, right? They're giving you the fairy tale and unicorn stuff out there. This is one of the hardest, easiest money you'll ever make in your life. This is one of the hardest things that you'll ever do, because you know why? It's testing you mentally every single day. No one is like not susceptible of getting tilted every single day, whether you're a professional or not. 6 to 7 years in the market, you are still tested emotionally, and you will forever. The only thing is you get a little bit better at compartmentalizing it and not letting it totally overtake your body and you make the wrong decisions. I through 6 to 7 years, I got better at walking away, right? And that was something I struggled with for a long time. I could not walk away no matter what. I couldn't. I had to get it back the same day. And you need to know that the more you try and push, the more the market's going to take away. You can't fix this shit in one day. You can't. And it goes against human nature, right? When you do something wrong, you want to fix it right away. Right? Anything in life, you get in an argument with the wife, you don't want to wait. Like, you just want to fix the shit because you don't want to deal with it anymore, right?
Mhm.
Or you do something bad at work, you want to fix it right away. But when you try and bring that into trading, I'm telling you, it's the exact opposite. So you have to rewire yourself, because when you go and take, all right, let me get this back, let me just make this $200 back. Boy, I'm telling you, that's the beginning of the end for your account.
Exactly.
The
Yep.
beginning of the end.
Yep. I couldn't put it better, man. That's the beginning of the end.
because I've done it. It's not like I'm not talking nonsense. I've made all the mistakes. You know those days too, like when you're like, yo, I just need to get $150 to get my winning day in, right?
Mhm.
And then you go and you take a setup that's not even your trade setup. And you're like, I just need $150. I can get it real quick off the open. And then you're down 500. Oh shit, let me get the 500 back. Oh shit, I'm down 1,000. Oh God, the account's gone.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done all this. So I'm just telling you, just be patient, take your time. The payouts will come, the success will come. You cannot rush this. You can't. You cannot. You can't put a timestamp on it. You can't put a dollar amount that you should make every single day, because the market does not work that way. You could just be like, oh, I want to get $500 every single day. You cannot trade like that. You can't. You cannot. You're not guaranteed shit. You're not guaranteed $500 every day. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're guaranteed of losing $500 every day. That's the guarantee. When you get into the market and you click the button, already put in your mind that the money's gone. It's gone. Because as soon as you put that framework into your head, you're like, okay, I'm already detached from it. As soon as you click the button, whether you're risking 1,000 or 500, in your mind, the money has to be gone. It has to be. You have to be come to terms with the money's gone already, because then you don't care. You're separating yourself from it. And if you're having a hard time with that, right, then you're just putting on too much size. Right? Exactly. If you're like, oh fuck, this $1,000 is it hurts that I lost 1,000. You're sizing too big. Or the 500, it's eating at me that I lost it. You're sizing too big. The 100, you don't care. That's your size right there.
Yeah.
I know, but it seems so easy to say that, right? But then you tell someone to do it, and they can't get to that point. And it takes time, right? I'm not just saying this and I think like, oh, this is an instant switch. No, you have to, it's going to take time for you to make the wrong decisions to, okay, I risked 1,000 and that hurt. Okay, the 750 hurt too. The 500 hurt too. Okay, let me go down to 100. I've been burned so many times by risking the 1,000, the 750, and the 500. I have to stay here at the 100, because every time I do and I risk the 500, I go and get tilted. But this comes with time. Right? Time is your biggest asset in this, and just be patient.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That helps.
Let's go to talking about a few of your trades and how you manage them specifically, like exactly when you get in, exactly when you get out. I think that's going to be kind of valuable.
Yeah. So, like I was talking about before, I like if I get the confirmation of the trade either in Asia or London, I keep things very simple for me. I hold the trade for the entirety of the trading day. I do. I'm not more of a like, say I want to get like a session's liquidity. I don't trade like that. I trade more based off time, right? Because in the reality, I would want this move like to be a lot bigger, right? Because I know this should run for the entirety of the day. So I trade. So basically I trade more based off of time. So I'm holding the trade for the trading day, and it keeps things a lot more simple for me. Like I told you guys, I like to keep things as simple as possible. If I'm getting in on a swing, I will hold it for the trading day until 5 o'clock, until I physically can't hold that trade anymore. Then I will take it. If it runs in profit, then stops me at break even, I don't care, because I'm following my rules. I like to keep it simple. I get into the trade and I just let it go. I walk away from the charts. If I'm monitoring the trade, right, and I'm sticking and I'm on the charts all day, I will give myself a reason to get out. So I'm telling you, I get in the trade, I set my I let it run for the day, I set my stop loss, and I just don't even look. I don't look. I go and do other shit, because at the end of the day, I can't control that part. You know what the control was? The risk management. The risk at the end of the day. If I get to a certain point by like New York lunch, I'll usually like to set my stops to break even, because volatility is going to die down. But I majority of my trading is based off of time, like a lot. And that was probably the big, and people could say whatever they want. Like maybe ICT didn't come up with the concepts, but the biggest thing that I learned from watching those videos was I put time at the forefront of my trading before price. That is the biggest thing that I will tell you. And that was the thing that changed really a lot for me, is that I focused on time first and then price, because price means nothing unless it's correlated with the time. It has to be correlated with you. You think a fair value gap, right? Let's just say at 12 o'clock in the afternoon is going to be weighted as heavily as a fair value gap that's printed right as Asia session opens. They're two entirely different gaps, right? As soon as a session opens, especially Asia session on the metals, that is a huge, that is like an 8 p.m. fair value gap. Yo, I'm telling you, that is weighted way different than a random fair value gap throughout the day. So if there's one thing I could tell you guys that helped me a lot is focus on time. Whether it's anything, whether it's like you trade NASDAQ at 9:30, focus on what happens at 9:30. Do you get a fair value gap at 9:30 at the open, right? That fair value gap is going to be weighted way more than a fair value gap at 1:30 in the afternoon. Do you understand? Is that time is very, very crucial when it comes to trading. It's one of the biggest things that changed everything for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I hope that helps.
When do you actually get into the trade, and do you switch to a lower time frame?
Never. I don't ever go below nothing. I don't ever go below the 1 hour. The 45 minute, I actually, I forgot to say, the 45 minute is the lowest. I don't even have anything else. The 45 minutes, the lowest I go. Mm-hmm. Everything is taken from the daily, the weekly, the 4 hour for bias. And then I will, my scale down is the hour, the 2 hour, and the 45 minute. That's it.
So when are you entering, and is it by market?
Oh, I always enter by market.
Okay.
No. It's sometimes it'll depend, right? So if I get the fair value gap entry, I'll set the limit on it because I want to get tagged, right? And sometimes I won't be on the charts, right? And I'll get in late and I'll have to mark it in. It just depends on the situation, right? Like where I'm at. Like sometimes I'll maybe doing something and I may miss the initial, like the tag on the limit, right? And then I'll just have to mark it in. Mm-hmm. It just depends. Like that's where a little bit of my discretion comes in, right? I told you, like, you need to have some sort of discretion in your trading. That's because then you could just code everything, and then there were just you understand. Like you need to have that's why the human mind for me, in my personal opinion, will always outwin like 100% mechanical model, because mechanical models they work in certain market conditions, and what makes you a great trader is being able to adapt, right? If I'm in certain market conditions and I need to make changes on the metals, then I can adapt to that, right? That's why a 100% mechanical model, if there was a holy grail one out there, right, we'd all be filthy rich, or we'd be trying to buy and be sold for millions and millions of dollars if that was the case, right? So there is a form of discretion into my trading. I keep around like 85 to 90% mechanical, and then I have that discretion in there. Just based off of back testing and just being in the markets for a long period of time.
Got it. And then in terms of management, you're really not managing it once you're in. You just walk away. Either hits your profit or stop, I guess.
Yeah, or if it's at 12 o'clock and it's kind of floating,
break even. Right.
I'll break even. Yeah, but that's where my discretion comes in, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just yeah, I know it sounds incredibly simple, but it's what works better for me, because if I'm sitting and I'm staring at it, I may give myself a reason to get out, right? And it's something that stimulates me emotionally, like watching it and staring at it. And it's like, I can't control that, right? I want to see it do what it's supposed to do, or it could stop me out. And it limits me on making decisions that are against my plan. So that's what I do now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go to some questions.
Yeah.
And the audience.
Yeah.
Ice Strong is back. I was actually down 1.5K from Asia and climbed it back to minus 100. Tried to push it more so that I can get funded.
Now, let me explain this. What the decisions that you made, right? Was that something that was a result of tilt, or was that a result of your plan, right? Because, and this is also something, is that people may treat evaluations a bit differently than fundeds, right? They may not care as much, like if they burn a few. But what I want to say is that you cannot replicate, like whether you were taking this because you didn't care about the evaluation, you wanted to push it a little bit more. Maybe you took some trades that are riskier or not fully in your plan because you just wanted to push the evaluation to get through it, to get to the funded stage. It is very important for you to be able to separate that mentality when you get into the funded stage. So that's why in my Discord, I tell most of the people to treat their evaluations like their funded accounts, because it could really mess with your head, right?
Mhm.
And you're formulating bad habits, and it kind of could be
Exactly.
something that could follow you into your funded account, right? There are people out there who can separate that, but I'm talking about for the vast majority of people who are prop firm traders, if you go and you treat that evaluation disrespectfully, I'm telling you that's going to go right into your funded account.
Absolutely.
I promise you, bro. I'm telling you right now, you are going to go and make that mistake in your funded because you got rewarded for it in your eval.
And it's subconscious at that point. You're
Yeah,
just building bad
it's
habits.
embedded in you.
Yeah.
Yes. So I tell a lot of people, it's like, I honestly, the only thing that I treat differently in my evaluations is I wait for my A+ setups. I just size slightly more. That's it. I size a little bit bigger. Say I was going to risk 500 in a funded, I'll risk like 750 to 1,000. But it will be this. It'll have to be the same exact setup. You know what I mean? The risk is only different. I'm not going outside of my system to take a trade to get through an eval by just full porting or taking a bad trade. It's because I know when I do that, I'm already formulating bad things in my head and for myself because I've done it. I've done that with the eval, and then I went to the funded account and I made mistakes. And I know it's like I'm building bad habits for myself. Tyler, you cannot do this. So that's one thing that I do recommend you guys do. I'm not sure if you did it. I'm not claiming that you did it. I'm just saying if you did have that, just know to turn that off in the funded stage because it can really hurt you and bite you in the ass.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people can take away the discipline that you have, not necessarily your strategy, but the discipline and the intentionality behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just comes with time of making the mistakes, right? So
Mhm.
that's only how I got to the level of discipline that I was at, and I was pretty disciplined outside of, and which is really important too, is that outside of my life, I'm incredibly disciplined as well. As far as like I was playing baseball, Division I baseball and stuff like that. So also I have discipline like with my diet and going to the gym and fitness. It's like all of this stuff matters. If you're chaotic outside of the charts and you don't have a structure in your life outside of the charts, it's going to be the same way in the charts. Everything that you have going inside of you mentally, physically, spiritually will be reflected. The charts will show it to you, right? It's honestly an incredible thing, and it's one of the biggest things that I learned is that you may think that you're okay. Like if you're having a bad day and you're like, I'm not that bad. But I'm telling you right now, the charts will show you if you're mad or not.
Mm.
It's a mirror. It's a direct reflection of yourself.
Yeah,
It's an
for sure.
incredible thing. So you learn a lot in trading, and if you have emotional stability in your trading, it's going to reflect outside of your life. I noticed that with my emotions being in check on the charts, like I don't let little things bother me outside of, the chart. Like in life where things like would bother me, typically it's like it doesn't anymore because I've created myself to get to the point where I only the extremely large things can really hinder me emotionally now. So.
Mm.
Yeah, but it comes with time. Time is the biggest thing.
Got a question here from Luck Maxidor.
Do you size up
up in your winning trades and size down in
trades
trades going
in
in
loss?
loss?
So do you mean like if I'm in like a losing streak? Is that what he means by that? Like, do you size up in winning trades? Like, do I add to positions?
I think
Is
that's
that what
what he means.
Okay, I never add to positions. It's one singular position. And if you're meaning like if I'm in a losing streak, do I size down? Typically I won't size down. I will keep the size static. I keep the size static, and it's just easier for me because it's like at the end of the day, my win rate is pretty high. So if I'm gonna go and that one win could wipe away all those losses. But if I size down substantially, it may only bring me to like break even, or I may be still net negative. So I keep the sizing pretty static because my sizing is never too large anyway.
Mm-hmm. That makes
So
sense.
I hope that helps if that's what he meant. But yes, do I size into winning trades? No, I don't. I just keep one position. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mentally, I need about a 1 to 2 risk to reward or better.
Yep. Same for me. And that's not to say that, that some people may, I have friends that are negative RR traders. It's wild. I was like, I could never do that. So I have friends that are negative RR traders. I have friends that do 1-to-1s. I have friends that do like 1 to 0.5, they take half, and then it's like I need my risk to reward has to be like over a 1 to 3 for me to even like not care about the loss. Because if I'm trading 1-to-1 and I take the loss, I'm telling you it's going to mess me up, because now I need 2 trades, because now I need to get back to break even, and then I need 1 more to take a win. And it's just I can't trade like that. I cannot do it. So I just that's what hindered me mentally for a long time, is that I need to have the higher RR positions and just be more patient and just wait. I'd rather not be involved in the market at all.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Have a question here. What is your hierarchy for time?
What session do you enter in an NQD? I don't trade NQ, because the NQ has been very dirty to me for a long time. So I don't trade the NQ. I don't even look at the indices. I only trade the metals. So my hierarchy for time, I guess, meaning like time where I would get into a position, or hierarchy in time of as far as like times where like the 1
I think
hour.
you mean time frames.
Like time frames. I personally, for me, I think one of the best time frames to ever trade is the 1 hour. Personally, I think it's a phenomenal time frame, in the sense where you could intraday swing it. You could take a position intraday on it. It gives you enough narrative in the market for the day. I think the 1 hour time frame, for me, that is like my holy grail time frame for trading. Like I love it so much. I think the hourly is phenomenal. That is my, if I were to pick one time frame to trade like futures and CFDs, I would trade the 1 hour. That's it. You don't need more than that, man. I know it sounds crazy. Oh, but I'm giving up opportunities. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
The more times you're involved in the market is the more times that you're going to lose money. Stop thinking that it's not more opportunity for you to make money. Okay. You have to understand that the more time you're in the market, and the longer time you're in the market, the more chance, or the greater chance you have of losing money. It's not winning. It's not winning and making more money. You have to understand that the market is here. You have a greater chance of it taking away from you than you making more money. You have to get that. So less is more. You don't need as many entries as you believe, and just focus on those high quality setups, and it'll come with time. Just focus on consistency. The hardest thing is everyone wants to do this shit so fast, right? They want to get to the payout as fast as possible. They want to get funded as fast as possible. They want to take 1 million trades a day because they need the payout, right? They got bills. They want the money for a gift. They want, you know what I mean? It's like everything is a rush. Everything in this life is a rush. Everything needs to happen so fast. You need it now. And it's just not realistic. It's not realistic. You aren't going to do this overnight. You're not going to get it. The more you try to push and you try to do this fast, the more it's going to take away from you, and it's just going to set you back, right? You're like, I need this payout, right? I need this payout right now. But guess what? If you blow the account, now you have to go through the eval again. So just wait. Just sit there and wait and be patient, and it will come.
Yep.
You know you want this to happen right away, but it's just not realistic, man. You need to take your time. Let the market come to you. Do not force things that aren't there.
One of my early teachers from the stock world, his name is J.C. Peretz, and he has a great quote that says, "There's no guarantees in the market except the next trade is coming."
100%.
That's the only guarantee.
Yeah. There's no guarantees. Nothing. And the only thing that you can physically control in the market is your risk management. That's it. You can only focus on your stop loss. You cannot focus on and control the outcome of a trade. The only thing you could control is your downside, right? Mm-hmm. That's and you know that, right? That should be at the top of your list. Okay, what do I do to protect this money? I need to protect it at all costs, right? It's like your family. What do I do? How am I going to protect my family? That has to be the same with your funded account, right? How am I protecting this money? How do I risk enough to where it won't hurt me, and it won't hurt the funded account, and it won't make me do something dumb, right? That has to be at the forefront of your trading. You need to understand that preservation of capital is everything. It's everything, because anybody can hit a big trade on a no consistency rule, right? You have no consistency rule, you hit one big trade, but guess what? You can't keep it. You can't keep the money that you just made, because guess what? It takes one red day to erase everything.
Yep.
So keep the money. Keep it. It's yours. Don't give it back. Don't let the market take it from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Follow up here from Yabo. He said he meant which sessions?
Which session? Asia, all day. all day. I love Asia session. I know people think I'm crazy, right? It's a slower market, but I love it. I love it. I think the price action's cleaner, especially on the metals. The metals are so clean in Asia. I love it. Asia session for me on the metals, it's like it's a work of art. It's beautiful. Yeah,
people are loving it.
yeah. I hope I helped some of you guys in some way, because these were all things that I struggled with, and I wish somebody was there to tell me. Right, when I was coming up in the space, it wasn't as prominent. Right, you didn't have access to like as much as you do now. Like, I'm not saying like I'm a super old guy, right? But it's like even 6 years ago, there wasn't as much information out there as there is now, right? But and I wish I had like a person telling me, yo, these are the things you're doing wrong. These are the things that I really struggled with the most. And it was always just like nonsense of people just showing their P&Ls and stuff, and like flexing and like the lifestyle shit. And it's just like, it was so beyond like see-through, and it was fake. But it's like, I wanted to be somebody when I did get like a following or I had like a platform. I always wanted to be like, okay, where can I actually give people real value, right? And the real value is in the struggle, and the real value is in things that I did wrong, and hopefully where you guys can make positive changes to things that hindered me for a long time. So that's what I try to give out to people.
Cool. We got 2 questions here, and then we can wrap it up.
Do you take trims and scale out of swing trades? No, I never take trims. I am an all or nothing guy. I let it hit my TP. I don't take trims. I tried for a long time, but it actually ended up hurting my RR in the grand scheme of things. So I learned to just see it through.
Okay, final question here.
You can't manage the trade however you see fit. How many trades do you take daily? Maximum 1 trade. One. Sometimes I don't even take a trade. 1 trade. I made a video on this today. You take 1 trade. That's it. I promise you. Do not even take 2. Just take 1. And if you don't even see 1, don't take it. Don't force it. Any rules? Any max daily loss value? So my daily loss is just whatever the one time that I'm risking on the trade. It depends. Like if I have a larger buffer in the account and I want to size up, then I'll size up, right? My risk is not static all of the time, right? It's dynamic in the sense where if I have a larger buffer on the account and I see an A+ trade and I want to throw in some more size on it, then I will. But it has to be like a significant buffer. I go by like, if I have like a $5,000 buffer in the account, I may bump the trade up by like $500, like risk, right? I keep my my risk dynamic in that sense, but for the most part, for the majority of my trading, it stays static until I have a really large realized buffer, and I'm like, yo, Ty, you could put a little bit more size on this because to increase my buffer or to get a bigger payout. That's where I use a little bit of discretion in my trading, but I only take 1 trade a day. I made a video on this. If you don't follow me on Instagram. It's Tyler G. I made a video on the 5 things that I would tell people to do to reach 6 figures in payouts. And it was this. It was 1 was trade 1 asset. 1, not 2, not ES, NQ, YM, 1. You trade 1. You trade 1 session, whether you like New York, London, or Asia. You trade 1 session only. You do not look at the other sessions. You don't even look at it. You get away from the charts, because if you're on those charts, you're going to give yourself a reason to take a trade. Number 3, you take 1 trade a day, not 2, not 3. You take 1. 4, you journal every single trade that you take. Every single trade. Emotionally, what did you feel in those trades? Every single trade is journaled every time you take a trade. And number 5, and the last one, is that your risk management needs to be at the forefront of your trading. And also, number 6, the last one I had, is that you need to go and get a minimum of 100 trades back tested. A minimum. You need data. I have 5 years of data on my trades, because if you do not have data and you don't know what the hell is going to go on every single time you take a trade, you're gambling. You need to have statistics on your side. You need to go and get a minimum of 100 trades. I would say 200 trades minimum of your edge playing out, and then you have a statistical probability in the market. So those are the 6 things that I recommend, and that's how you reach 6 figures in payouts. You can do it. I know it sounds so simple, but it's the hardest thing to do, because oftentimes one of those things gets fucked up because you mentally can't adhere to it.
Yep, that's homework for all you guys right there.
Yeah, so I hope that helps, because it's the truest thing. It's the truest thing. I'm telling you, just take 1 trade. Take 1 and walk away. 1. Do not even do 2. Don't even try and get it back the same day, because it oftentimes, and statistics show, after you go in for that, when you go in that second trade, your mentality around it is it's shot, bro. Once you take that 1 loss, I'm telling you, your subconscious and your ego is already hit. It is. and you're better off just taking one and leaving it for the day and let yourself reset, and then you come back, because oftentimes that second trade is just going to hurt you even more.
Absolutely. By the way, guys, we're gonna have a giveaway running in the Discord right there. That's the link. Tyler's information is in the description, so follow him.
Thank you for having me, bro. I always coming on here. Yeah. Whenever you want to run it back again, we'll come back. Maybe me and Josh will do some live trading or something.
Yeah, we'll do the follow up to your little coaching session. That'll be fun.
All right. Cool.
All right, man.
You guys. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the questions, everyone. Love each and every single one of you. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, later, brother.